Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Eozander, and you are you. Today is Woden's Day, aka Odin's Day, aka Wendendendenden's Day. January, February, March, April? Yeah, April 5th. Yeah, I forgot the month. It's April. It says right there. I'm an idiot. Why can't I read? April 5th, 2023. Let's get into the history today, shall we? Starting us off in the year 456, St. Patrick returned to Ireland as a missionary bishop. Huh. Well, alright, look at that. Let me add that in real quick. That's really tiny text. Anyway, we're going to move on up to 823. Lothar I was crowned king of Italy by Pope Paschal I. Alright. 919. The second Fatimid invasion of Egypt began with the Fatimid heir apparent Al-Qaim bi Amar Allah set out from Raqada at the head of his army. In 1081, we got Alexios I Komnenos was crowned Byzantine emperor at Constantinople, bringing the Komnenian dynasty to full power. All right. 1242. During the battle on the ice of Lake Peipus, Russian forces led by Alexander Nevsky rebuffed an invasion attempt by the Teutonic Knights. Yeah, see here, Alexander Nevsky of Novgorod defeated the Teutonic Knights in the Battle of the Ice. All right, so let's add that as a little footnote to that, real quick. Moving on up to 1424, Scottish King James I returned to Scotland after 80 years of detention at the English court. Wow. All right, well, they're not messing around over there. You know, they gave him massive detention. Moving on up to 1536, royal entry of Charles V into Rome, the last Roman triumph. Wow. That's pretty recent. 1566, 200 Brussels nobles offer Margherita of Parma a petition. All right. 1566 as well. 200 Dutch noblemen led by Hendrik van Brederode forced themselves into the presence of Margaret of Parma and presented the petition of compromise, denouncing the Spanish Inquisition in the 17 provinces. All right, so these two are connected. I'm going to do that right there. 1603, New England King James I, James the Sixth of Scotland, departed Edinburgh for London. Okay. 1609, Daimyo, the Lord Shimajo Tadeusin of the Satsusa domain in southern Kyushu, Japan, completed the successful invasion of the Ryukyu Kingdom in Okinawa. Well, look at that. 1614, in Virginia, Native American Pocahontas married English colonist John Rolfe. All right, so did not marry John Smith. It was John Rolfe. While that was happening, 1614 as well, the second Parliament of King James I began session. No bills passed, and it lasted only 2 months and 2 days. Thus, it's named the Addled Parliament. All right. 1621, the Mayflower set sail from Plymouth, Massachusetts, on a return trip to England. All right, so they're going back to pick up some more Protestants. It sounds like. 1722, Dutch navigator Jacob Roggeveen was the first European to discover Easter Island / Rapa Nui in the southeastern Pacific. Well, that's really cool. One of my aunts has been to Easter Island, and as well as the Galapagos and stuff. She's been to many places all over the world. Lucky. We have 1739, French and Holy Roman Emperor Charles VI signed a secret treaty. Alright, well, let me add that in here real quick. Let's see here, 1764? No. About to sneeze, hold on. Pardon me. 1762, British take Grenada, West Indies, from the French. I'm sorry. Oh, I have a sneeze attack. Alright, I am sorry about that. You know, when you gotta sneeze, you gotta sneeze. So, but yeah, they took Grenada. But then 1764, British Parliament passed the sugar tax on the American colonies, introduced by Prime Minister George Greenwell. Not a good guy. It sounds like, those British, they like their taxes, but hey, we like our taxes too for some reason. So, but then in 1768, the first U.S. Chamber of Commerce formed in New York City specifically. In 1792, United States President George Washington exercised his authority to veto a bill, the first time this power was used in the United States. And this was to strike down a congressional bill to increase the number of seats for northern states in the House of Representatives. Yeah. Yeah, so like even as far back as then, there was a disparity between North and South, it sounded like. Moving on up to 1803, the first performance of Ludwig von Beethoven's Second Symphony in D, conducted by the composer in Vienna. Alright. We also have in 1804, High Possil meteorite. The first recorded meteorite in Scotland fell in Possil. Cool. 1806, Isaac Quintard patented apple cider. Alright, that's interesting. So, for all of you who drinks the Martinelli's sparkling cider, every Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, whatever, like, it's good stuff. You can thank this guy. Well, he patented at least. So, 1814, Netherlands Bank issued its first banknotes. So, some Netherlands history right there. Norwegian, I believe. Norway? No, Netherlands is a different place. 1815, Mount Tambora in the Dutch East Indies had its first violent eruption after several centuries of dormancy. Yikes. 1818, in the Battle of Maipú, Chile's independence movement, led by Bernardo O'Higgins and Jose de San Martin, won a decisive victory over Spain, leaving 2,000 Spaniards and 1,000 Chilean patriots dead. Dang. So that's, the Tree of Liberty needs to be watered with the blood of patriots and, tyrants alike from time to time. 1847, Birkenhead Park, the first civic public park, opened in Birkenhead, England, designed by Joseph Paxton. Well, let's take a look at this park, Birkenhead Park, the first civic park. So, interesting. Let's take a look at what this looks like here. Okay, that's a pretty big park actually. I want to go visit it. That looks beautiful. Wow. That looks substantial. Like, that is a big park. Let's check it out on the maps here. No, give me the maps. Here we go. All right. Give me satellite view. Oh, that is cool. I gotta go to Birkenhead. Go to this park. Go to actual historic areas. Swiss Bridge. There's some dark water lake. Another dark water lake. A lot of green. Some fields. Beautiful area, it looks like. We're going to move on up into 1887. Anne Sullivan taught, water to blind and deaf 6-year-old Helen Keller by holding one of her hands under a dripping water pump and spelling out water in Keller's palm. She goes on to learn how to read, write, speak, and graduate from college. Holy crap! So, dang, that's incredible. Teaching a blind and deaf person how to read and write, like that is. There's no way to communicate. They can't hear. They can only feel. That's it. They can't see. That is amazing. 1893, Cleveland passed the Park Act. This was the forerunner of Metro Parks. So, if anybody knows, if anyone who watches this in Cleveland, Ohio, tell us in the comment section what exactly this is. See here, 1862. Actually, hold on a second. Why is 1893, 1862? Oh, okay. U.S. Civil War, the Battle of Yorktown begins. It is not in its correct area, so let me put that here real quick. Moving on up to 1895, Oscar Wilde lost libel case against Marquis of Queensberry, who accused him of homosexual practices. Yeah, people used to go to court over that stuff. So. Moving on up to 1900, archaeologists in Knossos, Crete, discovered a large cache of clay tablets with hieroglyphic writing in a script they called Linear B. Alright, well, let's check this out. Linear B script. Let's take a look at this. Get rid of the map. Okay, so this looks like the clay tablet they're talking about. Alright, interesting. 1902, a stand-box collapsed at Ibrox Park, which is now Ibrox Stadium in Glasgow, Scotland, which led to the death of 25 people and injuries of over 500 supporters during an International Association football match between Scotland and England. Yikes, that's not good. So, uh, moving on up to 1906, Mount Vesuvius erupted and devastated the town in the Naples province, or devastated towns in the Naples province, killing more than 100 people. Yeah. Well, it's a freaking volcano. Move. So, anyway, 1910, the Transadine Railway connecting Chile and Argentina was inaugurated. All right. So, cool. 1919, Antwerp was officially declared the host city for the games of the 7th Olympiad to be conducted in 1920, the first post-Great War Olympics. This is the first Olympics after the end of the war to end all wars, the Great War, and later to be known as World War I, or at least the first section of a war that I guess would technically still be going on. Like, just we're not fighting, but there's still a lot of animosity and hostilities and stuff to this day. I mean, the Cold War was an extension of that, and that's still going on between Russia and us and China, and it just expanded. So, moving on up to 1922, the American Birth Control League, forerunner of Planned Parenthood, was incorporated. All right. 1923, Firestone Tire and Rubber Company started producing inflatable tires. Well, look at that. Like before that, like we never inflated the wheels of a horse and buggy. So the concept of inflating wheels, that's a new invention for a new invention. So a lot of people don't realize, how meaningful the word revolutionary is. Like, I'm thinking about the whole Game Boy thing, from watching the Tetris movie a couple nights ago. But think about the automobile. Like, so much needed to be invented to make that what it is today, and so much more is it's ever evolving. So anyway, we're going to move on up into 1932, I think. Let's see here. Yeah, 1932. Dominion of Newfoundland, 10,000 rioters seized the colonial building, leading to the end of self-government. 1933, during the Andorra Revolution, the young Andorrans occupied the Casa de Laval and forced the government to hold democratic elections with universal male suffrage. That's something not too often you hear about, male suffrage. So, then we have 1933 as well. U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed 2 executive orders, 6101 to establish the Civilian Conservation Corps, and 6102 forbidding the hoarding of gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates by U.S. citizens. Yeah, that's the part of the plans of the New World Order. Get gold away from the people. If we have no money, we have no power. So that's what they're doing. They're utilizing their power to take power from us. And what is the Civilian Conservation Corps? Let's check this out. The Civilian Conservation Corps was a voluntary government work relief program that ran from 1933 to 1942 in the U.S. for unemployed, unmarried men ages 18 to 25, and eventually expanded to ages 17 to 28. That sounds extremely shady. So I'm gonna post this link in the underbar of the description below. Why can't I paste? There we go. All right. Let's move on up here. 1936, the Tupelo Gainesville tornado outbreak. An F5 tornado killed 233 people in Tupelo, Mississippi, virtually annihilating the town. Oh, man. 1939, membership of the Hitler Youth became obligatory. Not good. 1941, San Francisco, Castro, and Fillmore streetcars were replaced by buses. All right. And now there's barely any streetcars or cable cars left in San Francisco. I believe they're now a UNESCO World Heritage thing. 1942, during World War II, the Imperial Japanese Navy launched a carrier-based attack on Colombo in Ceylon during the Indian Ocean Raid. Port and civilian facilities were damaged, and the Royal Navy cruisers HMS Cornwall and HMS Dorsetshire were sunk southwest of the island. You know what? That explains things, because the UK, they owned India back at the time. It was a colony of the UK. The Dutch. There's the Dutch East Indies. The Indies and all that stuff. The India. And just the other day, I remember Golden Loon and I, we were talking about how there was HMS ships, British ships, fighting alongside us in the Pacific Theater. Well, that's where India's at, in the Indian Ocean. That's next to the Pacific Theater. So that's why the Brits are there. That explains things. Going to move on up here. 1943, Chinese steward Poon Lim was found off the coast of Brazil by a Brazilian fisherman family after being adrift for 133 days after British ship SS Ben Lomond was torpedoed by a German U-boat. Dang. So, Brazil, okay, yeah, so that's the Atlantic. So, the Brazilians, or the Germans would be there. We also have, 1943 as well. United States Army Air Force's bomber aircraft accidentally caused more than 900 civilian deaths, including 209 children and 1,300 wounded among the civilian population of the Belgian town of Mortsel. Their target was the Erla factory, 1 kilometer from the residential area hit. That's unfortunate. So, I mean, friendly fire, misinformation, stuff like that. Like, you know, you can be off by just a little bit, and that's just enough. So, but anyway, moving on up to 1944. During World War II, 270 inhabitants of the Greek town of Klesura were executed by the Germans. Why? 1945, during the Cold War, Yugoslav leader Josip Broz Tito signed an agreement with the Soviet Union to allow temporary entry of Soviet troops into Yugoslav territory. Not good. 1946, Soviet troops end their year-long occupation of the Danish island of Bornholm. Alright. 1946 as well, a Fleet Air arm, Vickers Wellington, crashed into a residential area in Rabat, Malta, during a training exercise, killing all 4 crew members and 16 civilians on the ground. Dang. 1949, a fire in a hospital in Effingham, Illinois, killed 77 people and led to nationwide fire code improvements in the United States. Yeah, we need those. So, 1951, Cold War. Ethel and Julius Rosenberg were sentenced to death for spying for the Soviet Union. So, yeah. Let me add this here as a little footnote real quick. Moving on up to 1955, Anthony Eden succeeded Winston Churchill as Prime Minister of the United States. Oh, that's when Churchill was no longer Prime Minister. 10 years after the war. Alright, well thank you for your service, Churchill, even though you're a New World Order puppet. 1956, Cuban Revolution. Fidel Castro declared himself at war with Cuban President Fulgencio Batista. Yep, we all know how that ended up. Not good for Batista. 1956, Ripple Rock, an underwater threat to navigation in the Seymour Narrows in Canada, was destroyed in one of the largest ever non-nuclear controlled explosions. You know, like, I understand, you know, you need to make way for shipping, but you're destroying natural things, like Ripple Rock. Let's see if there's even a picture of it. Here we go. Ripple Rock. Wow. Okay, I see. So there's a rock underneath here that caused ripples, and it was massively dangerous to, well, you know what, I'm going to have to, let's see here, Ripple Rock removal. Yeah, I'll watch that later after the show, of course. Let's see, let's move on up to 1962. St. Bernard Tunnel finished. Swiss/Italian workers shake hands. Alright. 1962 as well, NASA's Neil Armstrong piloted the X-15 to a height of 54,600 meters. That's a lot of meters. 54,600 to feet, though. So let's see here. Feet to feet. 179,000 feet. That's a lot of feet. Okay. Let's convert this to miles. almost 34 miles. Dang, that's up there. Moving on up to 1963, the Beatles received their first silver disc for the Please Please Me. Alright. 1964, the first driverless trains run in the London Underground. Wow, so, yeah, automation. All the way back in 64. 1965, Lava Lamp Day was celebrated. And is today Lava Lamp Day? Like, is there a Lava Lamp Day anymore? April 5th is Lava Lamp Day, so happy Lava Lamp Day, everybody. I swear there's a day for everything. At least May the 4th makes sense. May the 4th be with you. Revenge of the 5th. And then 3/14 is Pi Day. Those make sense. But why is today Lava Lamp Day? Explain to me in the comment section below. Moving on up to 1966, during the Buddhist uprising, South Vietnamese Prime Minister Nguyen Cao Ky personally attempted to lead the capture of the restive city of Da Nang before backing down. 1969, Vietnam War, massive anti-war demonstrations occurred in many U.S. cities. Yeah, because of all the press and all this stuff, because war correspondents have been around since the Civil War, in the very least. That was the very first time, really, that the masses via the newspaper heard about stuff on the front. I believe it was it was either during the I think it was during the Civil War, because people had no idea what warfare really was unless you actually lived it, or you're very educated in the matter. There's an instance of people setting up tables and having picnics and stuff up on a hill and overlooking a battlefield, and then the battlefield came closer and they had to evacuate. But yeah, the newspaper, that was essentially instant news. It took a couple weeks for the stories to get to the people, but still, since then, Vietnam is when it was really widespread televised. So people started seeing all the blood and gore and horrible war is hell, and they really have it shoved in their faces, and they're like, no more, stop sending people to die for meaningless crap. So anyway, 1971 in Sri Lanka, Jana Vimgakudi Peramuna launched a revolt against the United Front government of Sri Mavo Bandaranaike. Yeah, it says here, Sri Lanka's communist Jana Vinamika Paramuna, JVB, launched insurrection against the United Front government of, that guy. So I'm not going to try to read these names again. So she was a communist. All right. And then she later became the world's first female head of state. Wow. A communist. Well, if the shoe fits. 1971, Fran Phipps was the first woman to reach the North Pole. Alright, Fran Phipps. Sorry. 1972, the regular MLB season failed to open due to a player strike for the first time in history. 86 games were lost before the labor dispute was settled. Wow. 1973, NFL adopted the jersey numbering system, as in quarterback is 1 through 19. So, alright. Once again, these are doing this show every day answers questions I didn't even realize I had. What is the numbering system of the NFL? What is the numbering system of the MLB? NBA, NHL, Anyway, we have one of those answers, right here. 1975, Soyuz 18A launch was aborted short of orbit. The cosmonauts did return safely, but it was a failed launch. 1976, in China, the April 5th movement led to the Tiananmen incident. Ah, yes. I wonder, wasn't Tank Guy in 1986? Tiananmen Tank Guy dates. Yeah, 89, June 5th. Whoa. Oh, yeah, June 5th, 89. Okay. Moving on up. 1977, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that congressional legislation that diminished the size of the Sioux People's Reservation thereby destroyed the tribe's jurisdictional authority over the area in Rosebud, Sioux Tribe versus Kaniep. So, yeah, legal mumbo-jumbo. The Native Americans, got shafted, and trying to prevent them from getting shafted even more. And then 1981, the Philadelphia Flyers amassed a record of 2,621 penalty minutes. Woo! I don't think that's good. 1982, 43-year-old St. Louis reliever Jim Katz pitched one inning for the Cardinals in a season-opening 14-3 rout of Houston, set an MLB record for pitchers by playing in his 24th consecutive season. 24 seasons consecutively. That's impressive right there. While that was happening, in 1982 as well, British Royal Navy aircraft carriers Invincible and Hermes with escort vessels departed Portsmouth, England for the Falkland Islands in response to the Argentine invasion. Aye. 1983, France threw out 47 Soviet diplomats. Bye-bye. 1984, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar defeated Wilt Chamberlain's all-time career scoring record of 31,419 points at 31,421. So just I think he later received that, or I don't know. Anyway, he defeated his record. But let's put that in here real quick. Moving on up to 1986, record for a throw and return boomerang toss was set at 121 meters. So what is 121 meters? 121 meters, 2 feet, is 396 feet. Whoa, that's a good boomerang toss, man. Moving on up to 1987, Fox TV network premiered showing Married with Children and the Tracy Ullman Show. Alright, so this is when they started. We also have, don't care about that, don't care about that, don't care about that. 1990, Paul Newman won a court victory over Julius Gold to keep giving all profits from Newman food to charities. Oh, wow. So somebody wanted him to not give his profits to charities. That's scummy right there. Moving on up to 1991, an ASA EMB 120 crashed in Brunswick, Georgia, killing all 23 aboard, including Senator John Tower and astronaut Sonny Carter. Oh man, that sucks. 1991 as well, Kitty Kelly published an unauthorized biography of former U.S. First Lady Nancy Reagan. Uh-oh. Unauthorized biographies, not good. Moving on up to 1992, Alberto Fujimori, president of Peru, dissolved the Peruvian Congress by military force. That sounds like a dictator to me. So, yep, right here. Peruvian president Alberto Fujimori suspends the Constitution and dissolves Congress. So not just Congress, he suspended the Constitution. Alright, clearly he's turning into a fascist. So, while that was going on in 1992 as well, peace protesters Shauda Dubrovic and Olga Sukic were killed on the Verbinjavanda Bridge in Sarajevo, becoming the first casualties of the Bosnian War. Ah, alright. And, God, we're stuck in 92. Serbian troops began besieging Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, which would become the longest siege in modern warfare. Alright, so there you go. So, I think we'll tie those two together. Gonna move on up into, see, do I care about that? Nope. 1997, Steve Irwin's The Crocodile Hunter debuted. Crikey. This is the most dangerous animal on the planet. One bite from it and I'm gone. I'm gonna stick my thumb up its asshole. Oh, Steve, you silly man. 1998, the Arizona Diamondbacks recorded their first win in team history with a 3-2 victory over the San Francisco Giants in Phoenix, Arizona, ended the second worst start ever, 0-5 by an expansion team. Well, I mean, some people got to be good at things, and these people are good at being bad. 1998 as well, in Japan, the Akashi Kalioko Bridge opened to traffic, becoming the longest bridge span in the world. Let's take a look at this bridge. So, wait, I don't want this. I want this. Images. There we go. Oh, okay. It is a very beautiful bridge with bridge-like qualities and things. So, that's a nice shot right there. Anyway, fear of heights? No. Anyway, moving on up to 1999. 2 Libyans suspected of bringing down the Pan Am Flight 103 in 1998 were handed over for eventual trial in the Netherlands. Alright. Moving on up to 2009, a whole 10 years of nothing really. It's all just a bunch of sports crap. North Korea launched its controversial Kwanggimai Onsong 2 rocket. The satellite passed over mainland Japan, which prompted an immediate reaction from the United States Security Council, as well as participating states of 6-party talks. Yeah, that's concerning. 2010, 29 coal miners were killed in an explosion at the Upper Big Branch mine in West Virginia. Yeah, mining is still dangerous. 2012, a 77-year-old peninsular suicide outbreak, 77-year-old peninsular's suicide outside Greek parliament prompted further protests in Athens. That was a difficult one to read for some reason. But yeah, no, these people, like, they're serious. Moving on up to 2013, 60 people were killed in Nigeria after a bus collided with an oil tanker. Holy crap. That was a full bus. That's an awful, awful event. While that was happening in 2013 as well, Japan's Nikkei 225 reached its highest level in 5 years. So I guess that's their stock market. So let's see, check that out here. Japan's Nikkei 225. Yeah, it looks like a stock market. Yep. 2012, Rolling Stone magazine retracted its rape on campus story about a gang rape at the University of Virginia after being discredited. All right. Yep. There is no raping in universities of Virginia. It's the virgin land. You can't de-virginize Virginia. So, 2016, Iceland's Prime Minister Sigmundur David Gunnlaugsson resigned after the Panama Papers leak showed a conflict of interest. And once again, go check out the Panama Papers. That blew off the top of a whole bunch of stuff, and nobody ever did anything about it. So, educate yourself about those. Write your local congressman. Get angry. We gotta change this world for the better. 2016, Iceland's Prime Minister, I already read that, 2016 as well, PayPal announced it was canceling a $3.6 million investment in North Carolina after the state passed an anti-gay legislation. I mean, businesses are allowed to do what they want, but, I don't know, like, with how PayPal has been recently, like, maybe this is the beginning, because, 2015-16 is when all this SJW crap really started, getting, crazy. So, looks like PayPal has been with them since the start. Speaking of being with the woke masses since the start, San Francisco became the first U.S. city to mandate paid parental leave. If you decide to have a child, then you gotta decide whether or not you want to keep your job. Forcing your employer to bend their knee because you wanted to not close your legs is not cool. You're taking away their rights. I'm very seldom defending businesses and corporations, but in this state, in this situation, it costs $0 to not have sex. You want to try for a baby, fine. Leave your job. You got to choose one or the other. If you're going to raise another human being, or do you want to live your own life? Choose. You can't do both. So, moving on up to, let's see here, 2021, I believe. Yep. Italy scrapped its 1914 film censorship law that could ban films on moral and religious grounds. All right, yeah, good. Over 100 years later, we got to revise our laws and all that stuff, keep everything up to date, because we always add more laws. We never look at old ones or repeal, old ones or all that stuff, and it allows crazy shenanigans, like that one episode of King of the Hill where they were legally allowed to drive their cattle herd through the main street because their normal land got bought up by some Hollywood actor or whatever. So there you go. Moving on up to 2021 as well, Nguyen Xuan Phuc took office as president of Vietnam after dismissing the title of prime minister. Alright, so switched it from prime minister to president. And then, last but not least, 2063, we have some future history for you, if that's even a thing. Earth's first contact with the extraterrestrial Vulcan species in the Star Trek universe. So, hopefully in 40 years from now, I'll be 70 something, so I'll be up there if I'm still around. But hopefully we get to see some aliens from outside space, as they said in Rugrats, aliens. Anyway, audience, before we move on to Burst and Deaths, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most? Anything you wished we elaborated more about? Anything you would have liked to say had you been here? Start a dialogue down in the comments section. Let's move on up to Burst. Starting us off in 1170, we have Isabella of Haniels, Queen of France from 1180 through 90, born in Valenciennes, France, died in 1190. We also have, 1472, Bianca Maria Sforza, Italian wife of Maximilian I, Holy Roman Emperor. Thomas Hobbes, 1588, English philosopher, Leviathan, born in Westport, England. Alright. 1622, Vincenzo Viviani, Italian mathematician Viviani's theorem, born in Florence, Italy. What is Viviani's theorem? Let's check this out here. Viviani's theorem, named after Vincino Viviani, states that the sum of the distances from any interior point to the sides of an equilateral triangle equals the length of the triangle's altitude. Alright. That's another wiki to put into the underbar in the description below. Post-show, of course. Who else do we have? 1726, Benjamin Harrison V was a U.S. politician, planter, and merchant. Alright. 1761, Sybil Ludington, a American Revolutionary War heroine, rode to alert militia, born in Kent, New York. So I guess she rode a horse to warn the local militia, the Minutemen, and all that stuff. Kind of like the British are coming guy. What's his face? We also have 1729, Sir Thomas Hardy. You know what? I don't. First Baronet. English. You know what? Get rid of him. 1820, Nader, or Felix Tournichon, French photographer and balloonist, took the first aerial photograph, born in Paris. First aerial photograph. So let's take a look at that. It was this one. So that's the very first aerial photograph. That's cool. Man, that's really cool. And there goes my window thing. Anyway, who else do we have? 1822, Emile Louis Victor de Lavallee, a Belgian economist. Okay. 1827, Joseph Lister, British surgeon, pioneer of antiseptic surgery, born in Upton House, West Ham, England. You must defend West Ham! We also have 1834, Princess Mulford, a U.S. humorist and author. Okay. Hold on, let me edit this. U.S. humorist. There we go. 1835, Václav Havel, a Czech poet, writer, journalist, dramatist, and theater critic. 1837, Algernon Charles Swinburne, English poet, playwright, novelist, and critic. 1839, Robert Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls! The black U.S. citizenship pilot, sea captain, and politician. This is the guy who stole a Confederate boat, I believe. Let's see. Robert Smalls stole a boat. Let's see here. Yeah. In fewer than 4 hours, Robert Smalls has done something unimaginable. In the midst of the Civil War, this black male slave had commandeered a heavily armored Confederate ship and delivered its 17 black passengers, 9 men, 5 women, and 3 children, from slavery to freedom. Yes. This guy, balls as big as a Death Star. So, let me add that link in the underbar as well. Unfortunately, that's from PBS. So, but hey, gotta take what you can get. Moving on up, who else do we have? 1845, Jules Cambon, French ambassador to the U.S. in 1897, to Spain from 1902 through 107, and Germany from 1907 to 14, born in Paris. Well, at least his stint, as an ambassador to these countries lengthened over time, but he was ambassador to 3 different countries. That's kind of weird. We also have in 1848, Ulrich Willy, Swiss Army General. Can you imagine a Swiss, like a Swiss Army knife, you have the Swiss Army General, and you have the commander, the soldier, the freaking private, the sergeant, the colonel, all these little ranks, coming out of him. I gotta make, I gotta find a comic and make that. So anyway, who else do we have? 1856, Booker T. Washington, a U.S. education pioneer and first black U.S. citizen on a U.S. stamp, born in Halesford, Virginia. All right, first black U.S. citizen on a stamp. Awesome. 1856. So let's put him right here, real quick. 1858. We have Washington Atlee Burpee, a Canadian businessman who founded Burpee Seeds. All right. 1880. Eric Karlberg, Swedish Army officer, diplomat, shooter, fencer, and modern pentathlete, which is pentathlete is athletic in 5 things. An athlete who takes part in a pentathlon. Okay. A pentathlon is a contest featuring 5 events. The name is derived from Greek, combining the words penti and athlon. The first pentathlon was documented in ancient Greece and was part of the ancient Olympic Games. Well, alright. So, that's why. There's 5. That's where the pets comes from. I know. Why do I keep clicking the wrong damn thing? Down. You. Alright. Let's see here. Let's move on up here. Who else do we have? 1880. William Karlberg, Swedish Army officer and shooter. Okay. Swiss Army stuff, I guess. Like making a joke, I guess. 1882, we have Natila Sedova was the second wife of Leon Trotsky. And I believe Leon... Hold on a second. Leon Trotsky, was he one of the main three Soviets? Yes. Yep, there's Trotsky. 1888, Franklin Van Valkenburgh was a U.S. Navy officer, captain of the USS Arizona, Medal of Honor recipient, born in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Died, I believe, on board, the ship in 1941. Franklin Van Valkenburgh. We all know about what happened to the Arizona in Pearl Harbor. Died December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor, not Harbots. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on up to 1894, we have Lawrence Dale Bell, a U.S. industrialist and founder of Bell Aircraft Corporation. Look at that. Well, happy birthday to him. Well, happy birthday to Mr. Valkenbro. Thank you for the service. So, we also have 1901, Chester Bowles, U.S. diplomat and ambassador. Sounds kind of stinky. 1901 as well, Doggy Julian, a U.S. football, basketball, and baseball player and coach. All right. 1905, Bill Reich, U.S. one-armed actor in The Fugitive, Spartacus, Sweet Smell of Success, born in North Bergen, New Jersey. All right. 1906, Grady Sutton, U.S. actor, The Bank Dick, The Prentice of Southampton, born in Chattanooga, Tennessee. All right. Pardon me. 1906 as well, Guy Glutton-Brock, English social worker, declared as national hero in Zimbabwe, born in Northwood, Middlesex. 1908, Betty Davis, U.S. actress. She's got Betty Davis eyes. So, 1909, Albert R. Broccoli, U.S. film producer, James Bond Films, who co-founded Eon Productions, sometimes known as Chubby, born in New York City, New York. We have Bernard Bailey, 1916, a U.S. comic artist, co-creator of DC Comics, born in New York. 1916, Gregory Peck, a U.S. actor in To Kill a Mockingbird, as well as MacArthur, born in San Diego, California. Look at that. I know where that is. And Gregory Peck, good actor, To Kill a Mockingbird, great book, good movie. 1 year later, we got Robert Bloch in 1917, and U.S. sci-fi author for Hugo and Psycho, born in Chicago, Illinois. We have 1919, Les Murino, New Zealand World War II pilot, Dam Busters, born in Gisborne. And you should go check out the Dam Busters. That is some pretty amazing things they did to figure out how to blow up a dam. In wartime, they had these drums and they spun them in a certain direction, so that way when they dropped them, they skipped over the water, and the spinning, slowed them down. So that way, instead of just rolling up and over the dam, it hits the back, and it's lost enough momentum to just hit there and then sink down to the bottom and then blow up from the base. Blowing up a dam is not as easy as you think. Because, the conventional way from the front would be heavily guarded with anti-aircraft. So, 1919, Lester James Pierres, Sri Lankan director, screenwriter, and producer. All right. Well, I gotta start, getting rid of my old ways of putting in things for the script. 1923, Ernest Mandel, a German-born Marxist economist, Trotskyist activist, theorist, and communist. Not a good guy. While that was happening in 1923 as well, we have Nguyen Van Thieu, was the president of South Vietnam from 1965 through 75, born in Phang Rang, Vietnam. All right. Also have 1926, Roger Corman, a U.S. actor, director, producer, and screenwriter, Little Shop of Horrors, born in Detroit, Michigan. Little Shop of Horrors. 1933, Frank Gorshin, a U.S. comedian and impersonator, Riddler Batman, born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I wonder if he played the Riddler in the original Batman TV series. Yep, there he is right there. All right. We also have in 1934, Tina Maria Stone, a runner, a one-year distance record of 15,472 miles. All right. It's a one-year distance record. Let's see what the record is today. One-year distance record, runner. Let's see. Mile run world record progression. All right. Well, I don't know what any of this is. So, what is the most distance run in a year? 27,011 kilometers, which is what? Copy. Let's see here. Kilometers as miles. 16.85. Wait. 27. Hold on a second. 27. No. Here we go. Equals 16,783 miles. So that record has been broken. All right. Miles. Record has since been broken, I believe. If I'm wrong, please tell me in the underbar of the description. Anyway, we also have a 1937 Alan R. Thiem, a U.S. inventor, first power-operated vehicle/scooter, born in Bridgeport, Michigan. All right. So, making people lazy. 1937, Colin Powell, U.S. General and first black U.S. Secretary of State from 2001 through 2005, born in Harlem, New York. And he was the 65th U.S. Secretary of State. Not Defense, Secretary of State. He was a general, though. So let me add that in here real quick. Moving on up to 1938, we have Nancy Holt, who was a U.S. artist, land art, born in Worcester, Massachusetts. All right, let's see here. Nancy Holt's land art. All right. Oh, okay. So that's what she did. She just... oh, that's pretty interesting. All right. Looks like a very unique, dog training track or something, for dog shows. We also have Ronald White, was a singer-songwriter. Ronald White, 1939. Okay, I get it. It sounds like it's the name of the comedian, but different guy. Moving on up to 1947, Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, President of the Philippines from 2001 through 2010, born in San Juan Capistrano. Let's move on up to 1948. We have Dave Holland, English heavy metal rocker, Judas Priest, breaking the law, born in Northampton, England. He died, unfortunately, in 2018. We also have, this person, Agnetha Falskog, 1950, Swedish singer ABBA, Dancing Queen, only 17. I'll promise never to do that again. 73 today. Moving on up to 1951, Dean Kamen, U.S. engineer, inventor, and businessman who founded Segway Inc., born in Long Island, New York. Now, I thought the inventor of the Segway died on a Segway or something like that. But he's still alive, so no, he's not dead. Somebody invented some kind of mobility something and then died on it. Maybe that was a rumor. Anyway, 1954, we have Michael W. Butler, computer programmer, created the Today program, if anybody knows what that is. 1955, Akira Toriyama, 68th birthday today, happy birthday. A Japanese manga artist for Dragon Ball, born in Nagoya, Aichi Prefecture, Japan. Thank you for Dragon Ball. And, a little bit of trivia here for people who don't know. But the reason why it's called, Dragon Ball Z is called such is because he was running out of ideas and he wanted to end, that IP. He wanted to move on to other things. So that's why, Dragon Ball Z at the end of the alphabet, at the end of it. And then, as we all know, the Frieza saga was supposed to be the end of it. But then they brought in, the Trunks, from the future. The Android saga, the Cell saga, the Boo saga, and then GT, and then it's just gone completely off the rails. So, but it was supposed to end with Goku's death blowing up with Namek. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on up to 1962, we have Kirshan Ilyusuzov, Russian businessman and politician who was the first president of Kalmykia. Alright. 1973, Pharrell Williams, a U.S. singer, songwriter, and rapper. Is he the opposite of Will Ferrell? That's something interesting. Pharrell Williams, a U.S. singer, songwriter, Happy, music producer, The Neptunes, and film producer, Hidden Figures, born in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Alright. Add that in here really there. 1975, we have Juicy J, a U.S. rapper, songwriter, and record producer, the 3-6 Mafia, born in Memphis, Tennessee. Alright. Let's see here. Who else do we have? 1976, Sterling K. Brown, a U.S. actor, The People versus O.J. Simpson, This Is Us, born in St. Louis, Missouri. Alright. Add him to the list as well. So, boop, boop. Who else do we have? 1979, Alexander Resch, German Luger, or luger, like a land luge. Alright, or like ice luge or something. Alright, well, let's get rid of him. Michael A. Monsoor, 1981, U.S. Navy SEAL killed in Iraq and posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor, born in Long Beach, California. Thank you for your service. 1988, Christopher Papamichalopoulos, a Pripyat skier. Alright. And then we have 2,173, Harcourt Fenton, Harry Mudd, New Amsterdam, Arcturus, Star Trek. Alright. Let's move on to the deaths. Let's start us off in 517. We have Timothy I was a Byzantine patriarch. 582, Eutychius, Byzantine patriarch of Constantinople, c. 5112, whatever that is. 828, Nicephorus the First, Christian Byzantine patriarch, writer, and ecumenical patriarch of Constantinople, 806 through 15, died at about 77. Alright, Byzantine. Then jumping on up to 1325, we have Ralph D. Montermer, first Baron of Montermer and Earl of Gloucester. Okay, well, I don't care about the first Baron of whatever. 1431, Bernard First, Margrave of Baden-Baden. What is a Margrave and what is Baden-Baden? Well, I don't care. We answered that last year. 1531, Richard Roos, boiled to death for trying to poison an archbishop. Well, that's not too friendly. So, yeah. Don't poison archbishops, people. 1684, William Brounschnitter, English mathematician, Borshinger's formula, and the first president of the Royal Society, died at around the age of 64. Alright. 1709, Roger de Pelies, French painter, engraver, art critic, and diplomat. Alright. 1723, Johann Bernhard Fischer von Erlach, Austrian architect, sculptor, and historian. 1794, Marie Henriette de Chassis, French judge and politician. And then 1794 as well, Camille Desmoulins, French journalist, pamphleteer, and revolutionary leader. His oratory led to storming of the Bastille. Guillotined at 34. Not good. We also have, hold on a second, Georges Danton, 1794 as well. French politician and revolutionary, first president of the Committee of Public Safety during the French Revolution, executed by guillotine at 34. So, looks like he and this guy shared a chopping block, so to speak. 1799, Johann Christoph Garderer, German historian. A Gatterer, as in someone who mans a Gatling gun. Yeah, funny. 1811, Robert Raikes, founder of Sunday schools, died. Good. Who likes Sunday school? I don't. 1896, John Rogers Thomas, Welsh U.S. baritone and composer of popular classical and sacred music, died at 66. 1900, Osman Nuri Pasha, Ottoman field marshal and the hero of the siege of Plevna in 1877. 1904, Francis Power Cobb, Irish writer. Was he a power cob? Like, corn on the cob on a power tool, eat it, fast. In 1907, Laura D. Force Gordon, California lawyer and prominent suffragette, first woman to run a daily newspaper in the U.S., the Stockton Daily Leader in 1874, died at 68. 1910, Charles Follis, the Black Cyclone, died on this date. He was the first black U.S. professional NFL player. Shelby, Ohio, died of pneumonia at 31. That sucks. So, 1923, George Herbert, 5th Earl of Carnarvon, English financier and Egyptologist who funded the search for and excavation of Tutankhamun, King Tut's tomb in the Valley of the Kings, died at 56 after a severe mosquito bite became infected by a razor cut. That's odd. 1933, Hajjmala Mellon, Finnish mathematician and functional theorist. Let's check this out here real quick. Let's see here. Structural functionalism, or simply functionalism, is a framework for building theory that sees society as a complex system whose parts work together to promote solidarity and stability. Yeah, we all are in this together. We all are parts of a machine, be it the corporate machine, or a living body. We are all cells as part to a greater whole. That makes me wonder, like are cells conscious? Do they know that, they exist as part of me, So, 1935, Emil Mlynarski, Polish conductor, violinist, composer, and pedagogue. Pedagogue is a teacher, I believe. 1945, Karl Otto Koch, German SS officer who was commandant at Buchenwald, Sachsenhausen, and Magendink concentration camps, executed by the SS for corruption at 47. Good. So one less Nazi. 1948, Abby Aldrich Rockefeller, U.S. socialite and philanthropist. Okay. You know what? I don't care about the Rockefellers. They can all go burn in hell. 1952, Charles Collett, chief mechanical engineer of the Great Western Railway from 1922 through 41, died at the age of 80. All right. And that's a hell of a job. Chief mechanical engineer of the whole railway, during, the height of the railway, boom and all that stuff, 1964, Douglas MacArthur, one of the best military commanders in the U.S. and the world has ever seen. A U.S. general in World War II, Pacific Theater in the Philippines, and as well as in Korea, died at the age of 84. And what was his quotes? Let's see here. MacArthur quote, fade away. Let's see here. Old soldiers never die, they just fade away. So, yeah, in recognition of his statutes as one of the nation's greatest living military leaders, the U.S. Congress asked General George MacArthur to address a joint session on April 19, 1951. His speech is best known for its final lines in which he quoted an old Army ballad, "Old soldiers never die, they just fade away." Yep. 1976, Howard Hughes, U.S. pilot, engineer, and director. Yep, we all know about Howard Hughes. So, yeah, U.S. reclusive billionaire, filmmaker, and aviator, died at the age of 72. And yeah, go watch the movie The Aviator. That is a good movie. I actually have to go watch that. So, we have Arthur Harris, 1984, British Royal Air Force commanding chief, known as the bomber/butcher of Harris, for commanding the bombing campaign against Nazi Germany, died at the age of 91. 1987, Manly Wade Wellman, U.S. writer. Okay, I wonder if he was manly. 1989, Carl Zeman, a Czech director, artist, production designer, and animator. All right. Well, we also have 1989, Maria Cristina Gomez, died on the date. Salvadorian teacher, literacy, and civil rights activist, murdered at 46. Yikes. 1991, Sonny Carter, a U.S. soccer player, physician, and astronaut. That sounds like the life of a sim right there. Going from sports to, doctor to space person. Like, extreme career changes twice. 1991 as well, William Sidney, first Viscount de Lisle. Okay, I don't care about the first, royal crap. Sam Walton, a U.S. businessman who founded Walmart and Sam Club. Founder and CEO of Walmart and Sam Club, dies of multiple myeloma at 74. What is that even? So, multiple myeloma. Let's check that out here real quick. Multiple myeloma is a cancer of plasma cells. Normal plasma cells are found in the bone marrow and are an important part of the immune system. The immune system is made up of several types of cells that work together to fight infections and other diseases. All right, so he sounds like he died of he died of cancer, which he was a cancer. Walmart is a cancer. Sam's Club is a cancer. So, we also have Devida Bharti, 1993, an Indian actress in Hindi and Telugu movies. Shola R. Shabnam Dewana died at the age of 19 of injuries and internal bleeding after falling from a balcony of her fifth-floor apartment. That sucks. Wow. That sucks. 1994, Andrei Viktor Thishlev, the Dean of American Winemaking, Russian-born American winemaker, or U.S. winemaker, Beaulieu Wines in Napa Valley, died at 92. We all know about Napa Valley. Kurt Cobain took his own life on this date in 1994. He was a U.S. grunge rocker. Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Committed suicide at 27 by shooting himself in the head with a shotgun. So, yeah, not good. A guitarist and, he wasn't doing well near the end, and we got to pay attention to people in trouble. We seriously do. Anyway, moving on up to Allen Ginsberg. This guy looks familiar. A U.S. poet, Howl in the Fall of America, and 1960s counterculture icon, dies of liver cancer via complications of hepatitis at the age of 70. That sucks. And we've spoken about him before. His book Howl, was under a lot of scrutiny for a while. 2002, Kim Won-gyun, North Korean composer and politician. Alright, I don't know why that's on here, but okay. 2008, Charlton Heston, U.S. actor, director, and political activist, NRA, I believe National Rifle Association. So, there he is. The Ten Commandments, Ben-Hur, Planet of the Apes, he was in Planet of the Apes. Alright, Charlton Heston. Oops, hold on a second. I don't want that. Copy, Charlton Heston, post that. No, get the picture away from here. Alright. 2012, I think, yep. Jim Marshall, English businessman who founded Marshall Amplification, British businessman, electric guitar amplifier pioneer known as the Father of Loud, and founder of Marshall Amplification, died at the age of 88. Looks like I never went back and edited this last night, so my bad. 2014, John Panette, U.S. comedy comedian and god and actor. U.S. comedian and actor, not comedy. U.S. comedian and actor, The Punisher and Jr. dies from a pulmonary embolism at the age of 50. Wow, he was young. But at least he lost a lot of weight in his later years. But he's a really good comedian. Go check him out. He was writing a book. I'm not sure if he was, actually writing a book around the world in 50 buffets. But I would have loved to read that. 2017, Paul O'Neill, a U.S. rock composer and producer. 2017 as well, Maria Luisa Ozeta, Spanish pianist, harpsichordist, musicologist, conductor, and composer. Peles y Melicianda, died at 77. 2018, Isao Takahata, Japanese animated film director, screenwriter, and producer. Grave of the Fireflies, oh my god, that movie is powerful. Go watch that, Grave of the Fireflies. That is my heart, my soul, that movie. The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, died of lung cancer at 82. 2019, Sidney Brenner, South African biologist known for his contributions on the genetic code and molecular biology, goes Nobel laureate in 2002, died at the age of 92. And then Paul Ritter, English actor, died just 2 years ago on this date. Apparently he was in Harry Potter. He was also in Chernobyl. That's right. He was the asshole in Chernobyl. Okay. Alright. That guy. Alright. And that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar in the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 11 Mountain, 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander, and you are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!